Hey y'all, it's Tony TC Coleman, and welcome to my Drummer Knows Best Year in Review. Before we go into 2026, I want to go back and look into what we just did in 2025 with some of the most incredible interviews and discussions with some of my bestest friends and just great people in business in the industry. We'll be back in 2026 with more interviews, more legends, more stories, even some new folks. We're going to do it all. And let's get it rolling and look at the tape and see what we did. And remember, like, subscribe, and share with everybody. You got to do that for me so we can make this thing big, okay? So Tony TC Coleman, we'll see you in a minute. Check it out. Hey, Tony TC Coleman, drummer knows.
That's what I'm talking about.
Subscribe, like, and share on all platforms. I got Nate Watts, the baddest grooviness. Man, he have Stevie Wonder. Nate, when did you start with, how long has it been with Stevie now?
51 years.
51 years, man.
I ain't going nowhere. I'm going for Guinness, okay? I'm going for Guinness, all right?
What was the first gig you played with Stevie?
70, the first gig I did, we did the first recordings in 74 for Songs to Kill Life. And the first, we went on the road in 74, and we had three opening acts for us. First was the Commodores.
Okay.
The second was Rufus and Chaka Khan. And the third was Gino Vanelli.
Oh,
and I
wow.
only been playing for 2 years. You know, I was like, whoa.
BB used to always, when BB want to get on me, he mentioned, do I have to call Bernard? Why you let him get me all the time, man?
I didn't have anything to do with it. I loved it. I absolutely loved it because he really put a lot of trust in you.
Yes, he did.
And that was the beauty of it. Really was.
Yeah.
Seriously, the beauty. The man loved you. He absolutely loved you and adored you because you did what was supposed to be done at all times.
Yeah, man. And thanks to you for teaching me and just being always, anytime I had issues, I said, let me call Bernard. Bernard, blah, blah, blah. The first band I got in, the cats actually did a little skit where the trumpet player said, I didn't know they were going to do it, but the trumpet player said, yeah, I'll fix him. They told me later that they planned it. He said, I'm getting my pistol and I'm at like I'm going to shoot him. And you be like, no, don't shoot him. Don't shoot him. And he was like, man, I'm sick of him, man. I'm going to pop a cap in his ass, man. He don't play. All he's doing is looking out for stage and girls and stuff, man. Man, don't do it, man. Come on, man. He's going to be better, man. Aren't you, TC? Yeah, I'll be better. He said, no, you ain't, man. I'm tired of this.
What the hell kind of band you played in where people carrying where they're packing, man?
Blues, brother. Drummer knows best. All drummers know best. Y'all know that. And I got one that knows best. He really knows best. He was with Billy Joel forever. He was with Billy Joel, I think, when they were in like grade school or something, fourth grade, or when he was on one of those little bitty, anyway. I don't have to tell y'all about this guy. Liberty DeVito. Hey, Liberty. What's up, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You're almost right. I did meet Billy when I was 17 years old.
Man, in the drum stands. My brother Will Calhoun. Hey, Will, how you doing, man?
Fantastic, Tony. How are you?
Because I love this guy. He is so good, and his name is Narda Michael Walden.
So happy to be on your show today, TC. So happy to be here with you, man.
Tony Bronigal. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. It's so great to be, upright, breathing, chewing my own food, functioning normally, showing up mostly on time, getting phone calls like this, having friends like you, getting to play music for a living still. I'm a happy guy, man.
Yeah, but what's not to be happy about, right?
It wasn't this what we were dreaming about the whole time,
Heck yeah, man. I know you were just like me, a little kid up there tapping on stuff. Pop, 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 boom, 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 boom. Obviously, you were playing in bands growing up and stuff around Chicago, and
Yeah.
and you and our brother Vince, Miles Davis's nephew. I mean, were you and Vince ever thinking one day you going to play with Miles?
Oh man, we sat in the car and dreamt about it. Like Vince would come and pick me up for a gig. We drive out to the gig, we play the gig. You know, we were playing around Chicago doing a lot of different things. And he dropped me off, and before we unpacked the car with my amp and stuff and go back into my parents' house, we would just sit in the car and dream about, man, wouldn't it be so great one day if we could play with Miles, and literally we used to kind of dream about it. And so it's pretty amazing, man, when you really think about it, that out of the possibility of the infinite field of possibility that happened, and we were able to do it. It's pretty amazing.
Y'all know who Lee Oscar is. I don't have to be going through, he started out, he was a little kid, blah, blah, blah. Everybody know who you are, and they know where you came from. I mean, I don't know, it's a three-letter word. Am I okay to say the three-letter word?
You can say anything you wish. The federal judge didn't do anything to you.
Well, Lee Oscar is.
I don't want to talk about all this legal stuff if that's what
I ain't gonna talk about that, but I mean, it'd be nuts for me not to acknowledge that you're from War, the harmonica player of War, which now, because of legalities and all of that nonsensical stuff, you can't get into all of that. But you are War. Your harmonica, in my opinion, is one of the most well-known harmonica sounds and performances in the entire planet. Your harmonica playing.
I appreciate your opinion, but my look at things is that I was part of a band. That was a dream come true to be part of a band, and what I did was what I did, and I look at it. It wasn't the glue of the band. It was the ice cream. It was the whip. It's the cake itself, man. If you take the funk and all this stuff out, the stuff that the other guys did. I mean, Howard Scott and Harold Brown, man, and B.B. Dickerson. That was such an amazing combination. Um, you know, it just puts the right fire behind, whatever. So I was just putting coloring into things. So that was, and the horn section was a big deal to me. So
yeah,
I got to do my dream, a harmonica with a saxophone playing melody lines together as counter melodies to the melody of the song was what I consider the horn section of the band,
As far as a band goes, Sly and the Family Stone, y'all were it for me, man.
Those were amazing times, man. I call that period, coming up in San Francisco. I was fortunate. I mean, I was born and raised there, so I didn't know the rest of the world wasn't like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just that time. Call that the musical renaissance of the late '60s, early '70s. It was just amazing that time. The stuff that was created during that time period from all those musics coming out of there and other places too, but still lives today. I mean, it just keeps recreating its interests in human beings, and it's just amazing. It's great to be part of it.
Yeah, and we grew up in some weird times. Like I'm 69, I'll be 70 years old in August 12th.
Yeah.
But we grew up in America during a period where people were fighting to be free and be individuals with freedom without people messing with you, and as we said back in the day, harassing you, and it was all the racial divisions and all the women rights and all the stuff that we thought in America we had got to this, and peace, brother, and right on, and we had to fight for equality. And the only thing but during all of that chaos, in my opinion, was music was the only thing you could go to and escape it. You go escape it. And most bands, especially out on the West Coast, because you're from Oakland, am I correct? the Bay
San
Area,
Francisco, San Francisco.
San
Yeah.
Francisco, Oakland, Bay Area.
Yeah.
Let's just say California. Me growing up in Florida, California was like something you was like. I would be like, man, I want to go to California because of the music.
Yeah.
You had a diverse group of songs and music from California that made everybody think that's where the freedom is, the horizon of beauty in America. You
Mm-hmm.
know, all the leaves are brown, the leaves are brown. And then, yeah, wanna take you higher.
Yeah. Yeah.
So between the rock and the roll and the funk and the soul and between Grateful Dead and Tower of Power and Jefferson Airplane before they became a Starship and you know
Sly had produced actually a great slick from the Jefferson Airplane, then became a Starship. But like early
right.
on, way in the beginning of their
yeah, I know. And a lot of
Yeah.
people don't know this stuff. That's why we're going to have a conversation about these things because too many times great people like yourself, great people who inspire people like me pass away, and then everybody's like, "Oh, I miss him. I loved him. He was so great," and this, that, and trying to give you your props. When you're dead and gone, I'm giving them to you now, man. I'm telling
Well,
you.
I appreciate that, Tony.
You deserve that, Greg. And this
Yeah,
is no
thank you.
bullshit. When I heard Sly and the Family Stone, it was kind of like the Beatles, when you guys went on Ed Sullivan, It was like, everybody made a big deal about the Beatles because they were from England and and everything they did came from Little Richard and rock and roll.
That's right.
Black people in America, they were emulating that. And America didn't appreciate it until these 4 white English cats started doing it and had some little crop tops. And they was like, oh, it was like, man, goddamn, it's from here. But y'all don't think it's amazing here until they bring it over and do it.
Well, it's just like that whole English wave, Stones, Beatles, they were all influenced by meaning, where we're from, the U.S., our indigenous blues and soul music, R&B, and so were we. I know you were, and I was, because we grew up in it. But I mean, it took that different perspective to make everybody here say, "Oh," and look at it and appreciate that. You know what I mean?
My brother, my friend, Chris Hart. Yay! He was Chris Hart before Kevin Hart. Yay!
And for the record, no, I'm not related to the guy.
I know that you had that one too. How long have you been working with Remo Drumheads now?
This past August, it turned 33 years.
Wow, 33 years.
Yeah, I can't believe that. Wow.
Yeah, man. And I've known you those whole 33.
Yes, you have.
Zoro.
I'm here.
I met Zoro when he was doing the Bobby Brown. His prerogative and Don't Be Cruel. And he was on the big old giant rack up there. Bobby Brown was messing with Zoro on the rack. Big giant.
I remember
that was a long time ago, man.
That was either 88 or 89, man. That's some time ago. That's getting closer to 40 years for that.
40 years, man. Look at us.
I mean, I know.
Here we are.
I know. Here we are, 40 years, still gigging, still playing.
And you're looking good. You're still looking good, man.
You too, man. You too. It's that haircut we sport.
The Tower of Power. He's the power of the Tower of Power.
Well, I was.
David Garibaldi.
I studied classical snare drum, which I loved, and, hand technique and all those things, and so I wanted to have really, really good technique. I wanted to be able to play what I wanted to play in a small, space. I didn't want my arms flying all over the place. And so you think about like Bruce Lee and the 1-inch punch and all that.
Yes.
So my teachers always taught me to think about getting the most sound that you can out of the smallest area. You know,
Right.
generate energy and vibe and all that from a small space. So that's how I think.
You talk about Branford and Tane and all these, you know, see, I've met all those guys when I got to Berkeley College, because,
Right.
you know, it was just this convergence of like, it was very serendipitous how, you know, all this energy happened to meet at this time, right? Because you know, when I got there, then it was Branford, Donald Harrison, Big Chief, Tane was there.
Yeah, I know Donald. Yeah.
Greg Osby, Wallace Roney, Makoto Ozoni, Gene Jackson, let's see, Jean Toussaint, Tim Williams, the trombone player, Bone.
Yeah.
It was, several cats, you know, and then the guys that weren't in school, but they were just still around, gigging around town. It was Kevin Eubanks, Ralph Moore, Tommy Campbell, Bobby Broom,
Yeah.
Victor Bailey, you know, let me see. It was several cats, man. So, you know, it was just a rich environment at that period, man.
Your first drumming gig with a soul type band, or was it rock and roll? How did you get into? Because you are like us. You are like us. So you ain't. They not like us. That don't fit you. You be playing blues and stuff just like us. So anyway, so tell me, how did that start and when did that start for you drumming that way?
Well, I was down at Willie's house one day, and Willie said, "Hey man, I'm buying this other drum kit." And I said, "Oh, that's beautiful. It's great, man." And he said, "You want to buy my kit?" And I said, "Wow, I don't have any money. You know, I got a motor scooter, you know." And I said, "Well, how can I come up?" I said, "How much?" He goes, $100 by next Saturday. I went,
"Woo, that's a lot of money, man."
Wow, yeah, okay. I said, all right. So I literally rode my motor scooter at that point, rode it over to a lawnmower shop and sold it for $40, $45, and walked 2 miles back to his house and put $45 down on his table and said,
okay.
All right, it's mine. I'll pay you the rest by next Saturday. And then the phone rings. This is the funniest part. I'll be short with it. The phone rings and he picks up the phone and he goes, somebody was calling for a gig, and he says, no, I'm working tonight already. He already had a gig. Willie Arnellis, my best friend I grew up with. I'm working tonight. He said, but do I know any other drummers? And he looks across at the table at me, and he looks at me, he goes, puts his hand over, he goes, "You want a gig?" I swear to God, TC, he was throwing me in the deep end right away.
Right. I got the Earth, Wind, and Fire horns. Gary Bias, Reggie Young, and Bobby Burns. You see this, Reggie? Man, you know, when I first heard you play, man, I said, "Reggie, you funky, man. You must be from down south. You was born down there in Georgia somewhere, man. You was in Mobile, Alabama, somewhere like Fred Wesley." And Reggie said, "No, I was born in LA."
That's true. That's true.
So how did you want to play trombone, Reggie?
I didn't. It just happened to be the only instrument left that nobody picked. So it picked me.
Really?
Yeah.
Was it in high school?
I actually know that at elementary, I was in the 6th grade, and they had the double bass, the string bass, that was left. I actually carried that thing home. Walking with it down the street, and I said, "I can't be doing this. This thing is too big." So I did it one day, took it back the next day, and I said, "Do you have anything else?" He said, "Yeah, trombone." I said, "The trombone?" And so he said, "Yeah, nobody wanted to play that. They only wanted to play the trumpet and the saxophone, and the clarinet." I said, "Okay, give me that thing."
Well, actually, I just wanted to play an instrument. You know, when I was in grade school, I think I started like inquiring about it with my parents. Maybe around the 5th grade, and
you wanted to play violin. You wanted to be a
violin, exactly. Yeah, I wanted to play violin. That was the first instrument I asked, and I went to sign up. And but when I showed up to sign up, you know, because I didn't really know the whole protocol about, you know, getting in the band, getting in the music program there in grade school. They had actually filled all the positions. And I went specifically to sign up for violin. That's what I wanted to play.
What made you want to play the trumpet?
I had a friend, he was a couple years older than me, um, and he came by to pick me up. He says, come with me, Bobby. My mom and dad taking me to pick up a trumpet. I'm getting repaired. So I jumped in the car with him, and I was in the 6th grade also. He was in the 8th. So picked me up, got the horn. He came back, got in the car. I said, man, let me see that thing, man. I tried to play it, I couldn't get a sound out of it. I'm like, I thought you just blow air into it, man. You know, I thought notes just pop out there at the end of it, you know.
The artist relations guy for my drum company that I represent, Mapex Drums, KHS Music, Mapex Artist Relations. My brother Henry, go Henry, how you doing?
What's up? Hey.
Doesn't matter how big you might think you are or how small you are. It's what you're doing to represent that's important, I think.
Yeah.
You know,
I totally agree. It's, back when I was touring the world and all this stuff, and it wasn't necessarily funded by a label or anything else like that. I never knew I was ready until people started coming to me, till brands and artist reps started coming to me, and I was like, well, that's very humbling, and I'm very honored when all these companies, whether they were the right company for you or not, at least somebody was recognizing that. Nowadays, everybody's like, no, no, no. With YouTube and all the social media stuff is look at me, look at me. I'm like, no, that is the number one thing I get asked a lot. It's like, how do you know when an artist is ready? I was like, when all of a sudden I'm able to, when it lands in my lap instead of chasing me.
When you left all of that situation and finally hooked up with the Stones, was the deal like, could you play Miss You or blah blah? What was the audition like? Was it like,
Oh man, actually it was very informal, man. I went in and Mick was, reminding me of when we met. I'm thinking to myself, do you think I forgot when we met? Like, you remember we met during the Sting? You guys were filming the Sting movie. I was like, yeah, I remember. And he said, hey man, listen, if you don't know the tunes, we'll teach you the tunes and then we'll have the audition. So it was very informal. We played through a bunch of, the hits and then they actually went off and started writing the music that would become Voodoo Lounge, which is the first.
Oh, cool.
And then I went back and auditioned, playing through some of that music. The first audition was in May of '93. The second one was in October of '93. And I started recording with them in November in Ireland of '93.
Yeah. Was Bill cool? Today, one of the best. My brother, my friend, like no other. Great listener.
Thank you, Tony. Thanks for having me on your show, man. And we're going to be playing together at Woodstick this weekend. I'm so excited.
Yes, we are, man. It's always a treat to be around you and play with you, man. You're such an inspiration, bro. Herman Matthews. This man here has played drums with blockity block, blah, 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 blah. I can't even go through all the damn people you done played with, Herman.
Yeah, it just shows I can't keep a gig. That's right.
And like I always be telling them, Herman, you play in the pocket.
Oh yeah,
put something in your pocket.
Hey man, I tell people that this house that I live in, the luxuries that I have was all made with that 4-piece kit that I played. So
yeah.
So ain't nothing wrong with it.
Came backstage and was watching y'all do the sound check, and y'all didn't do one Billy Joel sound at your sound check.
No,
we
don't
didn't
do
one Billy Joel song. You did. Y'all were jamming like on some Beatles or something.
We never did the Billy Joel songs at sound check. It was bad enough we had to do them during the show.
And I've always liked your drumming, man. You always been like, let's go get them, bang, bang, bang. Come on.
Yeah, but I'm a banger. I'm a banger. You're a shuffler, man. There's so many different kinds of shuffles, and if anybody needs someone to shuffle, I always say you got to call TC, man. You got to call TC.
'Cause everybody don't know. Everybody don't know about shuffles. You know,
No, they do not. They do not.
They don't know about shuffles and how many different kinds there are.
It's just like that. One of my favorite movies, Forrest Gump's friend, Bubba.
Mm-hmm.
Well, there's sauteed shrimp, fried shrimp, shrimp etouffee, shrimp. It's like, yeah, it's all shrimp, but there's different types of shrimp.
Yeah.
And people go, oh, a shuffle. Well, which one?
Right.
There's so many different ways to play a shuffle. And that's something that I gladly teach and talk about when I see people and we talk about drumming, because people take things that they think are simple for granted. It's really amazing what you guys do, because not only do you have Tony Coleman, you got like 1,000 Tony Colemans. So that
Not
represent
quite that many, but there's a lot.
but it's so many people that represent us.
Yeah, and busy times of the year, like summer tour season, festival season in particular in Europe is like, now through beginning of July, July pretty much. I think there's a couple later ones in August, but
Yeah.
Tons of those festivals. I mean, these big bands just go from one festival of 100,000 people to the next one in the next country, and people keep coming. So it's, people always say, oh, I wish they had stuff like that in the US, it's like, well, we do. If you haven't been to Summerfest in Milwaukee, it's 3 weekends in July.
That's
Usually
right. Summerfest
ends
is
over
great.
4th of July. I mean, I looked at the lineup for that the other day. I don't know, I must have scrolled for 10 minutes and didn't see all the bands.
Yeah,
that are on there.
exactly.
Hundreds of bands. New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. Yeah, of course, Coachella. But Jazz and Heritage, they got such great local flavor, but they bring in big headliners too. But
Yeah.
I really love that one because of that local flavor, being the New Orleans Heritage Festival. So we've been sponsoring that for a long time. I love going down there every year and working that. We've got cymbals on every stage because there's about
You've always been there for me when I didn't have my own stuff. You guys are always right there, man.
I got a radio call one time. It was, hey man, can you get over to the blues tent? There's a guy that's not happy at all with the cymbals. I'm like, I look at the schedule. Who's at the blues tent right now or later today? I'm like, that son of a bitch. Get over there. What's this Memphis ride thing? What's this Memphis ride? It's all unfinished. Like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, did you play it? Well, not
hey,
yet.
Man,
but...
me bitching about something? Come on, Chris, you never heard me bitching. Come on. Everybody knows me. I never bitch.
That was a good time.
People didn't know that Motown actually had some white cats on their roster that was a band. And you were like the first ones that came out doing Get Ready, the Temptations Get Ready. And he introduced you guys on American Bandstand.
Yeah, we used to play in the clubs in Detroit every night, 6 nights a week for years.
Mm-hmm.
And we eventually made it to the top club in Detroit, big crowds all the time. And Motown was in Detroit.
Right.
See? And back then, Motown was primarily a singles record company. I mean, they had Smokey albums and Gladys Knights and Four Tops, Temps, Supremes. They had all that.
Right.
But they were out there promoting singles. Well, Barry had a hard time in the South collecting his royalties.
Mm-hmm.
It was a race thing. Come on.
Of course.
So he had a guy, Barney Ailes, who was a independent record promo guy in Detroit, Italian guy. So he sent Barney down to get his royalties, and Barney come back with his royalties. So Barry made him the VP of the company.
Okay.
So Barney goes to Barry and says, Barry, there's this new thing out there called album rock. It's rock and roll, but it's album based and it's long playing and it's people from England and it's college rock and all that.
Right.
And we're missing a market share.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we should open up a white division in the rock market. And Barry says, I don't want to have nothing to do with it. You do it. So Barney, he's local Detroit, and we knew him and we knew different people. So we mentioned, hey, so they came to the club where we played, and Barney let us know that he was going to give us 1 week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, from 2 o'clock in the morning until 9. At 9, you had to get out because the administrative staff come in, and Motown Studios back then was in the same house as the administrative staff.
Right.
So we had to quit the music by then. So anyways, we went into the studio to try this thing out, and we didn't know what to play, what to do. So what we decided to do was the top 5 or 6 songs that we played in the nightclub. Well, one of the songs was "Get Ready."
Yeah.
Well, we always played it, 3-minute single version. Unless it was a Saturday night and half the audience was juiced out of their mind, then we would play it for 10 minutes.
Right.
And there were times we played it for 20 minutes. And everybody was just like, yeah, and it was like, okay, I've been playing this riff now for 20 minutes. So we were in the studio, and each guy in the band at the time wanted to sing a song on our very first album. So they did. I had to sing 2 or 3 songs, one of which was "Get Ready," but we finished our songs, and the engineer says, hey, man, you guys are 10 minutes short. You got to do more. And we didn't know what to do. So I said, why don't we go do "Get Ready" and do it like we do when it's a 20-minute night?
Yeah.
Okay, so you take a solo, then you. Hey, just look at each other and make sure we're communicating. So we did, and 20 minutes later, the engineer, he's in the control room and he's waving his arms like, that's enough, that's enough. So we swung into the end of the song. It was 21 minutes and 30 seconds long. It came out, it was the whole side of one album.
Right.
Nobody would play it. Motown didn't know what to do with a 20-minute song. Barney said, I want you to take that song and cut out 3.5 minutes and give me a single on it.
Now I'm down in LA. I don't know what to do. I told my mother, I think I got to come back home to Eugene and regroup. And my mother's from Mexico. And she goes, don't come back, mijo. Don't come back. I was like, what do you mean? She goes, don't come back. If you come back, you'll never make it. You've got to find a way to stay down there. You have true talent, but you got to find a way. So I didn't really know what to do. That's what led me to going to, my sister had an apartment in Beverly Hills. I was in Anaheim, where Disneyland is at. And she said, why don't you come over to my apartment for a couple weeks? At least you're in the part of town where there's more musicians in the music business. I didn't know anything. I'm 17.
Right.
So God gave me a vision and an idea, and this was my idea. I went to the lawn of Beverly Hills High School. I brought a boombox when they were new, the Panasonic Platinum boombox, that was advertised in Rolling Stone magazine with Earth, Wind, and Fire carrying the boombox. Spent my last $200 on this boombox.
Yeah, I think Earth, Wind, and Fire did a commercial about that.
It did. That was the Panasonic.
I remember seeing. Well, we all loved Earth, Wind, and Fire. I remember seeing them doing a commercial about that boombox.
That was the boombox.
That was before they really got popular.
Well, they were pretty popular, but that because they were already popular in the '70s. But this was just a little before the Let's Groove and all that, But so I bought the Platinum boombox, and then my idea was like, I'm going to walk on the lawn of Beverly Hills High School. I'm going to bring my boombox, a practice pad, and some sticks, and I'm cranking Earth, Wind, and Fire's greatest hits, and I'm just going to play on the lawn and just do all my best chops. And if there's any other musicians that are there, they're going to probably wonder who's this new guy. And so I went there at lunchtime and I sat there and played my sticks. And the first kid that comes up to me is this kid named Kennedy. And then he asked me if I'm a drummer. And I said, yeah. And I said, do you play something? He goes, yeah, I play the bass. Then another kid came up to me like 20 minutes later. And he goes, man, you got some mean chops there. I love that music you're playing. And I said, are you new here? And I didn't really know what to say because I wasn't supposed to be there. So I said, yeah, I transferred here from Eugene. So that turned out to be Lenny Kravitz. And I kept up this charade for a long time that I was actually a student there. And every day I just kept showing up. And I would ride the bus there, and then I would show up, and security was like almost non-existent in 1980. They didn't even
Right, yeah.
I just would hang out all day, and then at lunchtime I'd go and meet all the musicians.
And so
Yeah.
that was a turning point in my life. The other kid was Kennedy Gordy, Barry Gordy's son, the founder of Motown Records.
Drive and love of music. Where I come from is Kalamazoo, Michigan, where we heard everything, you know, from Patty Page, Old Cape Cod, to Johnny Mathis, Chances Are.
Yeah.
How much is that doggy in the window?
Yeah.
You know, and of course, James Brown coming on strong with Please, Please,
Good
Please.
God.
And then Cold Sweat changed everything. And then,
Yeah.
of course, in the jazz department of Nina Simone, live at Town Hall, I Love You, Porgy, and Summertime, those records. And then, of course, my dad bought me the Buddy Rich Goes Against Max Roach versus
Yeah.
those type albums. So, I mean, we heard every kind of music in Michigan.
What was that about you that made people say, and I know you know what it was, but tell us, man, what was it that made people say, we got to get Bernard?
Engineers questioned me and asked me to play a certain way. And one of the ways, especially for me, when I first came in, I was a loud so-and-so, so-and-so. But I was consistent in what I was doing. So they asked me, would it be okay if we bring you down just a little bit? And I didn't understand that in the beginning. But they kept saying, I would like to bring you down. And I said, well, why don't you just take me out of the headphones? And they said, okay, you can hear? I said, yes. I know that you guys want me to be able to talk with you and just, but I don't need the headphones. Turn it down. I hear what I do. I know what I'm doing. But you keep telling me you want me to be softer, not harder, but softer. Make it beautiful. Make it this, that, and that. And I thought, you guys are going to drive me to drink.
That period from leaving and deciding I'm going to Los Angeles, what was it like for you mentally, man?
It's funny because, Tony, I decided I was coming to Los Angeles before I decided I was going to North Texas. I knew
really?
Yeah, I knew that I had the dream. I used to watch, the Johnny Carson show, and I would think, boy, wouldn't it be cool to live in LA and be able to go to the beach early in the day and then go be the house drummer, be the Ed Shaughnessy guy on the Tonight Show. And Ed was a really good friend of mine. So I knew that I wanted to play big band stuff like the Tonight Show band, but my favorite big band was Maynard Ferguson. The first band I ever saw, my dad took my brother and I to see the Beatles when I was 7 and Matt was 5. And then the second band I saw a year later, my mom and dad took me to see the Count Basie band. They were playing at a local high school gymnasium, the Madison Heights High School gymnasium, the Count Basie band with Rufus Jones on drums.
On the ballads, you break it down, use cross stick on the verse, use snare drum on the chorus, that whole thing. Yeah, and Gladys, her thing was like, it's got to be ebb and flow, and she just basically meant dynamics,
Of course, yeah, of course.
And sometimes it would be so drastic for her, more than, matter of fact, more than any artist that I've ever played with.
Oh, really?
Her verses were drastic to, it was like a whisper,
Oh,
Yeah. But you learn how, that's a part of drumming, not only learning how to play that soft, but keep the intensity, keep the attitude, you know what I'm saying? And
It's still got to be.
yeah, it's still got to be there.
I don't think I asked you about that cymbal, that one cymbal you had. It had a design in it, but it sounded interesting. What kind of cymbal was that?
Basically, what I've been doing is working with the great Bobby. He used to play drums at Weather Report, percussionist, Bobby Thomas Jr. Between him and there's an Argentinian guy who actually does the cutting. What I've been experimenting with is just me, Tony, just with the art and imagery.
Right.
I've been taking a couple of cymbals, some of them more on an Afrocentric basis, and these cymbals, and coming up with ideas to put them into the cymbal to reflect a certain kind of energy, but also to look a little bit stylish. And then when the lights hit it, you get a certain kind of a vibe. So I'm experimenting with it still, but and I'm getting the sounds to sound similar to a Chinese or Swiss cymbal sound, that kind of vibe. Doing it with the jazz thing and with Living Color, but I'm enjoying it. It's a fun part of sonic and visual creativity.
Man, you have produced some of the greatest people in the world. I mean, Aretha Franklin, Whitney Houston, working with Shaka Khan, working with Barbara Streisand, working with, man, give me that recipe. How you do that, man?
It's God's grace.
Yeah.
I'm a hard worker.
You are.
I'm a hard worker, but they say it's God's grace.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Truly. Just talking to you right now, this is God's grace.
Yes, yes.
Of being able to we're in our early 70s, you're 70, and be able to have lived and to seen these things we've seen, that only it's so rare that we were the ones to hear Little Richard and Ray Charles in their prime. In their prime. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Hendrix, prime. The Beatles coming out, Smokey Robinson, all that, little Stevie Wonder in his prime. I mean, that we're so blessed to be able to say we've lived that. So I'm turned on, man. I'm turned on by
Me too, Narda. People, I'm turned on by knowing Narda like Walden. They say, TC, you act like you a fanboy. I am a fan. I love everybody. I'm a fan, man. Right. Are you kidding me? I don't take it for granted that I'm with one of the most talented cats I've met in my lifetime. I'll be excited, man. It excites me. It inspires me to want to be that.